Well, hello. Happy Wednesday. It is September 27th. We're almost to the end of the month. And wow, then we just have October, November, December. That's a little bit crazy. So let me check my page so that I can see that it's live. All right, I see it. All right, and I can see the chat. So there we are. It's Wednesday. It's live. Hey, Georgiana. How are you? Are you doing well? Tonight I am going to be doing a stamped one sheet wonder, and I'm focusing on blues because I did a giveaway on my business page. Oh, I'm so glad that you're doing well. I did a giveaway on my business page, and the prize was to get 4 custom made cards, and that they could say what type of cards they wanted, colors that they wanted, and the ask was to have florals in blue and thinking of you. So that's kind of where we're going today. So we'll see how that goes. I've got some stamp sets on my desk that I've been thinking about using. So I think I'm going to start with Two-Tone Flora. I tried to do this so that it was landscape, and it told me I couldn't go live that way. I don't know. So let me see. Did I turn that light on? I didn't. Everything just got a whole lot brighter, didn't it? So what you been working on there, Miss Georgiana? Anything good? Let me flip this down. I'm gonna try turning it and see what happens. All right. Hopefully that will stay in place. I'm just waiting for my computer to catch up so I can see what you can see and make sure I've got everything lined up. Cleaning up the craft room. Yeah, I had to do that the other night. I'm one of those crafters that I generally clean up when I'm done for the night or done with a project. But last weekend I was doing a whole bunch of stuff. And I think it was Monday night. I'm like, I can't go to bed with it like this again. Because my office is also downstairs in the same room. And I just didn't, it was too much, too much. So the stamp set that I pulled out to start with is Two-Tone Flora. I am loving the stamp. I've done so many projects with it and I keep going back to it. So let's get started. I think we'll go with this guy. And I'm using that one. Then that means I need to use this one, I think. Nope, not that one. I guess it's this one. That one didn't get cleaned very well last time. So I've been doing a lot of stuff in my craft room over the last week or so. And I'm getting ready for craft fairs, and I have a virtual prop this weekend, so I have a lot going on. I feel like I want to change this. I can't really tell what's going on here. All right, well, it's still up and down. Hopefully you can see it well enough. And I don't know why Facebook said, no, you can't go live that way. It wasn't very nice if you ask me. It was kind of mean. All right, so I'm just gonna start getting some flowers down. Ooh. So I've been making hot cocoa packets like I showed you last week. Oh, and you can see this here. I'm gonna just do a little side thing. I also have this one for apple cider with some cookies inside and a little Werther's Original. And I just thought that this little lady from the coffee set would be perfect. You can see it fine? Good, thank you. And I just said, she's gonna go on there. Still needs to be packaged up, but just playing with that the other day. Thank you. I like it. Where am I going here? I been really busy at work, which is not how you want to spend your day, going crazy. But I am on week 3 of having my 10 o'clock hour booked out so that I can go for a walk. And I'm happy to say that almost every day I have been able to actually go out and do that, which has been amazing, because when you sit too long, it's just no fun. I mean, the perfect time to do it would be 11, but I always have meetings at 11. Always, always. All right. Gonna do some off the edge here just a little bit, because we know that the design never stops inside the pages, right? I think we'll do one more over here. All right, that gives us a good starting point. Oh yeah, so where are you again that it's hot? I can't remember where you are. It is cooling down quite a bit here, and I've actually had to put on a coat when I've been walking. All right, so that was Pool Party, Arkansas. How did I not know that? All right, and now I've got this guy that goes on top, and I have found that it's easier if I stamp the fill first, and then try and line up the little holes in here with the little holes on here to make the diamond. I think that's how you say it. All right, so now I'm going to use Starry Sky, which is, I'm not sure if it's purple or blue, but I'm going with it because I like it. Ooh. I don't usually try and do this under a camera. I can't see. Yeah, we'll see how close I was. Not very. That's all right. That one's better. If I get my head where I can actually see it, you won't be able to see what I'm doing. Should have thought of that before I picked this one, huh? To do on camera. Thank you. I like the combination too. I'm totally guessing on these light ones. I can't even see them. Maybe if I pull this closer, I can see. I think you're still in the picture. Yep. I'm trying to think if I have any funny stories from this week. Not from this week, but the other day, I was in a meeting with someone, with one of my customers, and we were talking about how people at his company wanted him to push forward with something, even though we know that the part you need before that isn't done. And he said, it's like putting icing on the cake before you bake the cake. And I just about fell out of my chair laughing. It's kind of like the putting the horse before the cart, but I've never heard anybody put it quite like that. It gave me a good chuckle, and it lightened the mood too because it was getting kind of intense. All right. We've got some flowers going across the page. That's always a good thing. I'm going to, before I do more flowers, I want to get some leaves down. I already used that. So let me see here what I want to use. I guess I'll use the ones that came with it. Sometimes I like to look and see what else is out there first on my table. So I have Old Olive. You've done that with brownies. Add a little German chocolate frosting to the top and then bake it. Bake it with the frosting in it. Yeah, that's not where he was going with that, but I like the sound of that food. Yum, yum. All right, we've got some Old Olive. I like to see what reach my flowers are going to have before I go and put more flowers down. At least that's how I think of it. That's why I'm starting with the long ones. Because they travel across the page. Do you have any plans for the weekend? I am hosting a virtual crop for my friends and customers, group members. I'm excited. It's a fun time. We start on Friday night at 6, and Friday night's usually pretty low key because a lot of people are working and can't necessarily make it. And so Friday night is just a Zoom and craft for whoever happens to be around. And then on Saturday we have a, what do you call it? Well, there's a challenge. Have you ever watched roulette crafting, something like that, where they have a group of 4 different categories and you spin the wheel for each of the categories and that's what you have to work with. And some of them are color themes, and it's not like this color, that color. It's like vegetable garden, mountain, winter mountain, all sorts of stuff like that where you can kind of use your imagination to bring it to life. So we're doing that. We've got a mystery card class. We have a card class and a layout class. And then we play games. And like we'll probably do What's Up. Some type of bingo. FSC does Stamp Wars. What's FSC? Every day is the weekend. We were talking about that the other day at work. Because, like, on my team, I'm one of the youngest, rewind. On my team, I'm one of the youngest people. And I'm in my mid-50s. I have people that are late 50s, early 60s, early 70s on my team. And then I have, like, 2 people that are in their 40s. So we're a mature team, as I like to say. And the software that we work with is for the U.S. government. It's not for the U.S. government, but we implement rules set by the U.S. government so that our customers can import goods into the United States. And there's some big change coming, and we're all like, so when's this going to happen? And everybody's saying, hopefully not till after I retire. And yeah. And then we're all going, well, who's retiring first? So, too far away for me to be counting on. That's all I can tell you. No matter how much I'd love to. Okay, so we have our big flowers. We have our wandering leaves. And I think next I want to get some smaller flowers, but not necessarily from this set. I'll put this aside. I pulled out a couple of other sets with varying sizes of flowers. I think I want to use Modern Garden next. I haven't used it yet. Hey, Cheryl. Hi, Lisa. How's everybody doing? I think we'll start with this guy. Ooh, that's stuck on there good. So I'm going to stamp this a couple of times on some scrap paper because I haven't used it yet. So for those of you that are coming in now, I am doing a stamped one sheet wonder for Emily, who won the giveaway I did on my business page. And the giveaway was for, oh, that's so juicy. Did you see that bubble? Holy cow. We're gonna do a little, just a little bit of that. And the giveaway was that I would create a set of custom cards for her. And she could pick the colors and the theme, and she wanted blue, and she wanted flowers. I'm thinking of you. It's still juicy. All right, I think we're getting there. So that's what we're doing. Back to my page here. This is similar in size. So I'm not going to use a lot of them because I already have quite a bit at this size. Got to leave room to put some fillers, right? Oh, thanks, Cheryl. I thought it was a pretty good prize. I love to do things, you know, to make things to give away. So you guys probably don't know this, but I am also I'm going to use the term loosely, but I'm also a seamstress. And I say loosely because a real seamstress would not consider my skills seamstress level. But you know what? The end product always comes out okay. And it's pretty. I just tell people not to look at my seams. It's all good. All right. We got some of those big flowers. You sew, sorta? Like, I can sew. And I've made some pretty intricate things. Like, I've made prom dresses and I've done quilting. But as I said, just don't look at my seams and we're all good. All right, I'm looking in here to see what goes inside. As I said, I haven't used this set before. I have no idea what goes inside. We're gonna make it up. We're gonna make it up. Seems made to be hidden. I love it. Yep, that's too big. That'll work. There's a piece of hair. I must be shedding, ladies. Tell me I'm not the only one who sheds. So yeah, I don't remember why I said something about sewing. Why did I go there? Just gonna give this a little bit of color in the center. You shed more than your dog. There is a puppy that I really want, but my daughter is not ready for us to get a puppy yet. And I found out she doesn't like girl dogs. What? How did I not know this? And then my husband's like, yeah, me either. But when we do get dogs, we're gonna get 2 of them, so maybe I just say, it's okay, she's mine. All right, we got some yellow centers. All right, time to go small. That's right, Cheryl, then she'll be mine. All right, we've got more blues. And also this one that I can use. Do you think I could get away with Pretty Peacock using it as a blue? It's a blue-green, right? We're gonna put that on the table too, just in case. Because otherwise I think we might end up with colors that are just too similar. Great minds do think alike. All right, we need some small flowers. Let's see, how big is this one in comparison? What do you think? Should I go light or dark? What color blue should I use for this fun stamp? Give me your opinions. What shall I use? You're so sweet, Cheryl. Thank you for that. Any opinion on what color I should use next? I moved it up so hopefully you can see them better. You're thinking light or dark. Thanks, that's helpful. I think I'll go with this one if you guys aren't going to tell me. Choose blue, go with blue. You guys are so much help, but at least you make me laugh. All right. Let's get some peacock going. Ooh, I didn't need to do that. Oh well, is what it is, right? As the coach of my New England Patriots, who finally won a game this weekend, would say, it is what it is. Are you guys football fans? Good thing we have Georgiana. She wouldn't know what to do. I assume that she is me. Any football fans? You just thought this was on Facebook, but you're here. You were the first one here. So I love my New England Patriots, no matter how much they're struggling. And I play fantasy football. So not only did my Patriots win this weekend for the first time this year, my fantasy team won for the first time this year. Chiefs. All right. You got a good team there. You got a great quarterback. Though the interesting part of 2 weeks ago, we played Miami. I have Tyreek Hill on my fantasy football team. And so, of course, I want him to score points for me, but I don't want him to score points against the Patriots. And then we're getting towards the end, and I'm like, I need some points, and I knew we were going to lose. I'm like, it's okay if you score points, it's okay. But it was his worst game of the season. And yet, they won anyways. All right. Making progress. Yes, it is quite a conundrum. You got tired of Tom Brady? I didn't get tired of his play. All right. So I think I want to do Misty Moonlight. And I'm going to go smaller. I'm going to go, do I want to use this one? Thank you, Miss Cheryl. Or this one? What do you think? Use this for my next one or that? Smiles or garden? Thank you, Miss Georgiana. So many decisions to be made. While you guys are deciding, I'm going to clean off a couple of these stamps because I'm going to need the blocks, and I don't want to have to pick up a dirty stamp and get ink all over my hand. Go small, the smaller one. This one, okay. Thank you. And I want to use this thing. I think this one here is really cute. But I don't know if I'm going to stay in the blue for that. I might have to get something other than blue and green. Just a little something. This is equivalent of dottage, right? And you have the little itty bitty flowers like this. It reminds me of, is it called phlox? Is that the right name? Kind of small flowers that are almost a ground cover. I think it's called phlox. I'm not really, I love stamping flowers. And I like to look at other people's flowers, but I don't want flowers in my house because I can't stand the smell of them. They make me, how do I say that? It's, my lips tingle and I can taste it in my mouth and it gives me a headache, which is rather unfortunate because I like the look of them. And my poor dancer daughter didn't get an awful lot of flowers. Ooh, oops, for recitals because, yeah, I'm allergic. That is correct. But she didn't seem to mind because she doesn't really care. So I'd get her jewelry or a stuffed animal when she was little, stuff like that instead of flowers. We went totally non-traditional. But we're a non-traditional family. Whoops. My husband has raised both of my kids, you know, as a stay-at-home parent. And so we're definitely non-traditional, but it works for us. Excuse me. Hello, Stray Kids Lover 3. I need to know who that really is. Unless you want me to call you that. Oops, I just knocked something off my desk. It'll be there when I'm done, right? So tell me, what do you guys like to watch? More men should do, stay at home, yeah. It has been the right choice for our family for many, many years. Starting with when my daughter was little, was when I really knew it was the right choice because he had so much more patience with babies than I do. I'm much better when they're walking, talking, saying yes ma'am, no ma'am, yes please, no thank you, I like, I don't like. That is much more my, I understand that. Crying and trying to figure out what they mean, not so good at. Alright, so I think I want to add a little bit of pink. But maybe not pink pink. What do you think of doing this here in the Calypso Coral? Let me know what you think. It's kind of fun sharing ideas with people. You know, we've been stamping from home by ourselves for so long, it's nice to have other people to bounce ideas off of. You like that idea? We like to watch a lot of stuff, but hubby hates reality TV. Otherwise, we watch everything. Yeah, we don't do any reality TV other than So You Think You Can Dance. You know, coming from a dance family, we'll watch that. But we're more into procedurals like the NCIS's, FBI, stuff like that. And we watch Grey's Anatomy and Station 19. Ooh. haven't used this one. Oh yeah, it's a distinctive stamp, isn't it? It's supposed to look like that. I have to remind myself of that sometimes. Is that true? Do I need to do this? A lot of my inks are still pretty new because I just finally got to the point where I think I have all of them. So they're very juicy. All right. We'll do it around the things that are already climbing out. Murder stuff is always good. I never quite thought of it like that. I was more of the mystery and solving things, but okay. And so you juxtapose that with, we also watch a lot of Hallmark, especially now because there's nothing new on. I'm wondering if we'll ever get anything new again. So Georgiana, you said you're retired. So do you spend your days crafting as much as you thought that you would? Or did you find other things to keep you busy? I have to say my mom was busier, oops, stuck my finger in that, was busier after she retired than before. She lived in a over 55 community down in Florida, and she was president of the hobby club and president of the computer club, which is hilarious because before she retired, she didn't know anything about computers. And she would always call me, Claudine, how do I do this? How do I do that? And she would ask me stuff about hardware. And she did that because, you know, I work with computers, and at the time I tested software, but I didn't do anything with the hardware. But it's funny, if you work with computers, everybody thinks, oh, you'll know this. And it's just not true. The most boring 55 community in Arkansas. You're just going to have to teach them how to have fun. And hubby doesn't do Hallmark. My husband actually started recording them on the DVR so we'd have something that we could both watch. And it's become kind of a game where when we watch it, it's like we try and find the things that they screwed up. Like when they had a cup in their hand in a scene, and then a moment later it's gone, but supposedly they haven't gone anywhere. So we have a little bit of fun with that. But we have our actors and actresses that we go, oh, we know that person, we like that person. We watched one last night. I'm trying to remember the name of it. It was about a woman who lost her eyesight in a hiking accident, and about this dog that was being raised to be a seeing eye dog. And he met her when he was a pup. You know, it was like a 2-minute meeting. And every time he came across her over the next year or two, he's like, that's Emily, that's Emily, that's Emily. He knew who she was because he could recognize her smell or whatever. And it was her journey to dealing with being blind. And it was really heartfelt and very well done. You need to cut your fingernails, can't type. Hubby is hardware guy, yeah. you're a software person. What did you do before you retired? There's still too much white space. Black Adam with the rock glass. Oh, I haven't heard of that one. I'm looking to see what flowers I want to use next. Maybe this guy or this guy. I like that flower better. It's based on a DC comic. All right. That's why I don't know, but my son would. My son would definitely know. It's hard to work with just one color scheme. They tend to start to look like each other, the colors. Well, I'm glad you enjoyed it. My husband will, he records all of the stuff for us. And there's always stuff on there for him, and then there's stuff on there for us. Because he tends to like some of the more action and more blood and guts than I like, more horror than I like. So he always has stuff that he's got recorded that he can watch when I'm not around, like now while I'm doing this, or if I am off visiting people. So he saves the stuff that I'll watch for when we're together. And then, of course, we watch our Patriots together. All right, starting to get rid of some of that white. You had never heard of Black Adam until a year ago. My nephew's friend had painted it on his car windows. His name is Za. Is that the friend? His name is Adam and he is black. I was really offended when they explained it. Yeah, you know what? We would get in trouble for that. All right, so now I have some soft sea foam. Let's get some more leaves going in. Trying to decide which ones. Hey Janice, nice to see you. It must be very late there. I think our friends across the pond don't sleep. That's what I think. I shouldn't really talk because the other night I couldn't sleep. I tossed and turned for, I don't know, like an hour and a half. And then I got up and came down here and crafted. I'm like, forget this. So I crafted from like 4:30 or 3:30 to 6 or something like that. And then went back to bed. It was a weekend, so I could do that. Not so easy to do on a weeknight or week morning. Huh. I'm surprised how close those are. This soft sea foam is so light, but when you do the second generation on the old olive, that was pretty light as well. All right, I'm just gonna finish up with some leaves, I think, and then we'll cut it up. Working on a class PDF and determined to finish it. It's the wee hours of the morn. Yeah. Yeah, I got up early this morning, and at 7 o'clock this morning, I was posting stuff to my group for the virtual crop this weekend, because I have a separate group that I put that in. And I usually try and give them the challenges early because some of my attendees are nurses, and so they end up with days off in the middle of the week and like to get a head start on the challenges. I'm like, all right, here we go. All right, I need some dottage. I don't remember what stamp set I have has dottage. I think we're going to use this little itty bitty thing from Two Tone Floor, so this little guy, to do some dottage. And then we're going to call it done. And we're going to do light dottage in Pool Party. It's not exactly dottage, but since I didn't pull out a stamp set that had it, this is what we're going with. And lost in my own little world here. So hopefully y'all talking amongst yourselves. All right. So it's a very busy one, but that's okay. Sometimes that's just the way it works out. All right, so let me get this out of the way. And I need to make 4 cards, but I'm thinking I don't want to just do 4 solids, like 4 fronts of 4 by 5 1/4. So I'm gonna start, whoops, wrong blade. Better that you scored when you meant to cut than the other way around, right? So I'm gonna start with 2 of those that have like that. And then this is going to be 3 3/4. Maybe by 2. So those are going to go together. And that leaves me with about 7 inches by 3 3/4. So we'll make this 3 1/2. All right. Let me grab some cardstock. The good news is we know it's going to be blue, so I only have to open one drawer. I think I'm going to go, did I even use Night of Navy? I don't think I did, but I'm still going to use that here. So first, I like to go into my scraps and see what I have. And I want to mount those. You can tell I use my Night of Navy a lot, huh? Lots of those scraps. Two by 3 3/4. I'm going to go with 2 1/4 by 4. Oh, well, that was perfect. It was already full. Same thing with this one. And 1/4 by 4. So there's going to be layers. I'm going to do that on top here, I do believe. So we'll start with those ones. How am I out of card bases, my friends? How did that happen? Good night, Janice. Oh, thanks, Janice. That's the one. And a 2. And I'm sure you guys have all learned by now that I'm pretty simple with my cards, plain and simple. So we won't be doing a lot of, yes, it irritates me too. I made up so many of them this past weekend, the card bases, because I was prepping for an event that I'm doing in November. And I think I had 60 sets to put together, or 60 cards, 10 sets of 6 cards. I'm excited about that. So one of the things I like to do is to kind of layer my stamped one sheet wonder to give it some dimension. So there's that. We got some dimensionals. Speaking of dimension. Whoops. Five and 6. That looks about right. So have you ladies started your Christmas cards yet? I have by default, because I had to design Christmas stuff for the crop that I'm going to, so I have started. Oh, thanks. I'm glad you like it. Now, if you weren't making your one sheet wonder, can you imagine how quickly a card like that goes together? Like if you're just starting with DSP? Very quickly. You started your... All right, so Georgiana's been making them all year, and she donates them. Cheryl's laughing, saying I'm funny because Christmas cards. Well, you know, your circumstances are a little different. You've been a little busy, and now you're trying to get everything organized. So give yourself a little grace. Me, pretty much, if I'm not working and it's before 8 p.m., then I am down here crafting. But once 8 p.m. comes, then I usually go upstairs and watch a movie with my husband and then go to bed. Whoops. That was stuck to me. Georgiana, you should check your Facebook messages. I sent you a message a while ago, maybe a week or so ago. All right, so that's those two. And then we have these pieces left. And they are, like I said, they're 3 3/4 by 3 1/2. So let's decide what we're going to do with those. Oops, I forgot the scoring. I think I'm tired today. Oh, I didn't tell you guys this. The other day, my friends from high school, well, one of them is from junior high and the other one from high school, the three of us hung around together all of senior year when Deb moved to our town. And we all kind of lost touch. And then over the years, I've gotten in touch with each of them separately. But this past weekend, we had a three-way Zoom. It's our first monthly one, and it was so nice to be able to check in with each other and see what's going on in everybody's lives. Okay, so 3 3/4. If I do an inch and an inch, and then one at... So I'm going to cut off an inch off this end, and then I just kind of flipped it around. And I'm going to cut an inch off this end, because I'm weird. I like to cut my smaller pieces to the left. Okay. So if I do that, an 1/8 of an inch in between. That's 4 3/4, 1 1/4. No. I gotta do this down here, sorry. eighth of an inch, eighth of an inch, eighth of an inch. So what line is that? 4 1/4 by 3 3/4 is what I want to do. 4 1/4 by 3 3/4. Do I have anything like that in my little scrap bag? Four 1/4 by 3 3/4. Who's Mr. Squid? And who's he asking if they're vegan? All right, I'm gonna do this down. Does anybody here know who Mr. Squid is? It might be in your messenger, like under unknown recipient thing, because I don't know that we've been officially Facebook friends. So needs a little cleaning here. I need to remember to get a blade on my next order. Ooh, ooh, Mr. Carter. Did you guys do that too? Ooh, ooh, Mr. Carter. I want before I go sticking that down. All right, that didn't go so well. Whatever, it'll all be fine, right? I want to put a little ribbon on this one. One of my coworkers sent me a message. You remember you remember Vinny? Well, he's from Mr. Carter. He's from Welcome Back Carter. That's where that came from, was that show. And yes, it was Vinny Barbarino. Ooh, ooh. Oh no, it wasn't him. It was Horshack that did that. Trying to put on the way back hats, right? Remember the shows from when we were kids? All right, well, I have a little lesson to teach you because I just failed it myself. Did you know that ribbon has a way that it wants to go? So if you look at this one as I hold it over my finger, it's trying to curl around my hand. And so when you're working with ribbon, it's always helpful if you work in the same direction it wants to go. Unlike this, where when I flip it over like this, you can see it's fighting me. And I forgot to check which way the ribbon was going. Oh, I gotcha. All right, so I'm gonna try and teach it the way I want it to go, but if you're doing this on your own, you should try and work with the way that the ribbon wants to go, and you'll have much more success that way. And I tie my bows upside down because I learned how to tie a pretty bow from my grandmother on a dress that she had made me for a 5th grade concert. And it had a sash that needed a bow, and I was having trouble. So she stood behind me, all 9 of her, and taught me how to tie a bow. So to this day, I still tie them as if I'm looking down at my waist. I don't know how this is going to work with the ribbon fighting me. It was a white floral dress with like a peacoat eyelet to it, and then the sash was an emerald green. It was beautiful. I'm glad you liked it. All right, give me some scissors. And see, it's got a nice flat top. And if I had been working with the ribbon the way I was supposed to, this would be curling itself down like that. All right, that's that one. I should have one more. Let's see if I can do this one correctly. All right, I'm gonna cut off 1 inch. I'm gonna make another one, same design. Ooh, you know what? I'm gonna do something different. I'm gonna do 1 1/4. And then this is 3 1/2, so 1 3/4 would cut that in half. I might have to cut just a smidge I tell you, off of these here, because I want to have a little gap between them, but I want them to be the same height as the piece that I have the tall one of. All right, so we're gonna make this one 4 inches. Where's my scrap bag? Where'd it go? There it is, right in front of me. Okay, 4 inches, great. I'm going to glue this on because I didn't measure. It might, I'll try that. The glue dot, good suggestion. And this one's going to go around the bottom. And then this one goes on top. And I cut off a little bit too much, but whatever. Guess that's where I'll put the ribbon. Right? That's where you put the ribbon. Then it doesn't matter. All right, so as I was saying, it has the way that it wants to go. So I'm going to put it underneath here so that when I wrap it around, the thing wants to go around the card. That's kind of what I am attempting to do here. Getting my glue dots to hold that in place since I don't have things half glued now. Oops. I know this isn't what you were talking about with the glue dots, but I will go back to that one. Yep, that's the right way. All right, upside down bow time. So it's kind of like going with the grain of your fabric, if you can get your ribbon to go the way you want it to go. Let me get this out of my way. I'm fighting with it. Here we go. One more time. And then I put a card somewhere. Here it is. And we're almost done. I hope she likes them. I think I want the skinny side on the left. The narrow side, whichever way you like to call it. All right. Oh, glue dot for this. All right, thank you, Miss Cheryl. I'm gonna flip the camera. Try and do it so that it's not too fast because I don't want anyone to get dizzy. And pull it down because I am short. And Cheryl, I just want you to know I had the camera up there just for you. Just so you know. I'll probably add some bling to it, but I'm tired at this point. And we've been going for a long time because it takes a while to stamp a one-sheet wonder. So thank you so much for joining me tonight. I hope you had fun talking with me and talking with each other. And I don't know what I'm going to do next week. That's why I call it What's Up Wednesday. But I will see you then. All right. Bye, everyone. I'm glad that was a good view, Cheryl.